Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics. The Young and the Restless spoilers threat to Kane isn't over as would-be assassin follows him to Genoa City. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kane, Ashby, Billy, Flynn may still have a target on his back that will follow him to Genoa City. Get updates on the latest news about the Young and the Restless straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Kane called Chancellor Connor Floyd too nice because he believed someone was trying to kill him. Will this person follow Kane to Genoa City and try to take him out again? Carter was the killer at the chateau. Unfortunately for Chance, the only killer that was in nice was Carter Vincent Stalba, who not only killed Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, but will be ultimately caused Chance's death as well. No one has shown up that is after Kane so far, but that doesn't mean they won't follow him to Genoa City. Will they finally catch up with him? Why was Kane so paranoid that he called Chance to protect him? If Carter was only after Damian, who could be after Kane? If someone is following Kane, isn't he putting everyone close to him in danger by moving back to Genoa City? Could Kane be putting Lily in even worse danger that she was already in? Is Colin the reason Kane is a target? Colin Atkinson, Tristan Rogers, wanted to reconnect with his son. Colin says he wanted forgiveness and wanted to reconnect. What is this? However, Colin has never been someone that could be trusted. No one knows what may be going on with this situation. Just because Colin said he wanted things to be on the up and up doesn't mean that is true. There could be a lot of people that Colin had double-crossed that want revenge. And with Colin gone, Kane is the only way to get it? Colin could be the very one who put a target on Kane's back, and now he is going to have to deal with that while putting others in danger as well. Then again, Kane has made enemies as well. Subscribe our channel for more latest updates. Kane Ashby's return to Genoa City was supposed to be a fresh start, a quiet chance to reconnect with his children, make peace with the past, and possibly rekindle a future with someone he once loved. But that dream quickly turns into a nightmare as the shadows of his recent escape from danger begin to close in. What was once left behind in the dark corners of Australia now threatens to engulf Genoa City as a deadly figure from Kane's past refuses to let go. Kane arrives back in town under the radar, keeping a low profile, staying temporarily at a modest rental home in the outskirts of town. He tells no one of his arrival except for Jill, who had begged him to return to Chancellor Winters to help manage the brewing chaos in the company. His arrival is meant to be strategic, help Devon stabilize things, assist Billy in smoothing the company's direction, and finally carve a new drama-free path forward. But what Kane didn't expect was that someone had followed him, someone who had once tried to kill him. Back in Australia, Kane found himself tangled in a black market money laundering scheme when he tried to help a friend clear debt. That friend, Samir Curry, ended up dead, and Kane barely escaped with his life. Authorities had warned him that someone wanted him silenced, and Kane disappeared under protective cover. Now that he's back in Genoa City, the question becomes, was his return too soon? Things begin subtly. A shadowy figure lurking across the street from his rental, a tampered car door. A note slipped under the door reading, "You should have stayed gone." Kane tries to brush it off, convincing himself it could be a misunderstanding. But then one night, his home is broken into. Nothing is stolen, but a single bullet is left on his kitchen counter. The message is clear: someone wants him dead. He reaches out to Chancellor, explaining the threat without revealing every gory detail. Chance, recently grappling with his own crisis, is immediately concerned. With his own resources stretched thin, he recommends Kane stay with someone he can trust. Someone already in the public eye, where it would be harder for an assassin to strike. Lily Winters is the obvious choice. The reunion between Lily and Kane is awkward. She's not thrilled that he kept his return a secret, and even less thrilled when he drops the bombshell that he may have a target on his back. But Lily, still deeply compassionate and aware of Kane's past bravery, agrees to help for the kids, if nothing else. She lets him stay in her guest house, and the old sparks threaten to reignite as they're forced into close quarters. However, Kane remains guarded. He knows anyone close to him is in danger. Meanwhile, Devon begins to notice the tension around Lily. She's missing meetings, acting distracted, and when he catches a glimpse of Kane slipping through the back entrance of her home, he knows something is up. Devon confronts her, and Lily, having had enough, reveals everything. Devin is furious that Kane brought danger to their doorstep and insists on getting security involved. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Victor Newman, ever the chess master, overhears Devin and Jill discussing Kane's situation. Victor offers his private security team to protect Kane. An unusual move, but one that raises eyebrows. Victor claims it's out of loyalty to Jill and Kane's contributions to Chancellor Winters, but it's clear he has an angle. He's been quietly gathering information about the Australian crime ring, and Kane's assassin might be a valuable bargaining chip in Victor's broader schemes. Things escalate quickly when a bomb threat is called into Chancellor Winters. The building is evacuated and no device is found, but the message is again unmistakable. The killer is in town and he's watching. Police begin combing through surveillance footage, and Chance identifies a man known only by an alias, Carter Vale, a former mercenary with ties to global crime syndicates. Vale is believed to be the man who murdered Samir and who now wants Kane dead, but with no concrete evidence, Vale moves freely through Genoa City, blending in as a tourist or businessman. Sharon Roselles, who's been offering therapy sessions for trauma survivors, becomes unexpectedly entwined in the story when Carter books an appointment under an alias. Sharon's instincts tell her something is off. His demeanor, his questions about Kane and Chancellor Winters. She reaches out to raise former contacts in Miami PD and uncovers Vale's photo in a criminal database. She shares the intel with Chance, confirming their worst fear. The assassin is already inside their circle. Knowing time is running out, Kane devises a plan. He decides to publicly announce his return to Genoa City and stage a press conference at Chancellor Winters to celebrate his new position, hoping to lure Vale into a trap. With Victor's team stationed strategically, the stage is set. But things take a turn no one expected. During the live press conference, a sniper shot rings out, shattering the glass behind Kane. Chaos erupts. Kane dives to the ground unharmed, but a member of Victor's security detail is shot. Carter Vale is seen fleeing the rooftop nearby, and a chase ensues through the city streets. Chance and Victor's men manage to corner him in the alley behind crimson lights. But Vale doesn't go down without a fight. He triggers a small explosive device hidden in his jacket, intending to take himself and everyone around him out. Chance, acting quickly, tackles him just in time, and the device is disabled, but not before Vale is injured and taken into custody. The bomb squad confirms that if not for Chance's fast response, half the alley would have gone up in flames. Back at the hospital, Kane visits the injured security officer, racked with guilt. Lily arrives to console him, and their conversation turns emotional. She asks if he's ready to leave this life behind. The danger, the running, the chaos. Kane doesn't answer immediately, but the look in his eyes suggests he's finally ready to choose stability. The next day, Carter Vale is taken into federal custody thanks to Victor's connections. Victor assures Kane that the threat is over for now, but the price Kane owes him. Exactly how Victor will cash in on that favor remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Lily and Kane share a quiet moment on the Chancellor Estate patio. The danger has passed, but the bond forged in fear and survival has rekindled something neither of them expected. They agree to take things one day at a time for the sake of their children, and perhaps, if fate allows, for themselves. Elsewhere in Genoa City, whispers begin about who leaked Kane's whereabouts to Vale. There's speculation that someone in Chancellor Winters might be compromised. Jill, always 2 steps ahead, starts an internal audit, but the suspicion casts a shadow over the company's leadership. Devin and Billy begin to clash over security protocol, and Nate Hastings, observing the tension, wonders if it's the right time to make his own bold return. Back in his hotel suite, Victor sips his scotch and reviews a file marked Kane Ashby Assets, Leverage Future Risk. He's not done with Kane, not by a long shot. And as the sun sets over Genoa City, a final scene plays out. A stranger in a leather jacket walks into society, drops a coin on the counter, and asks Abby Newman a simple question: has Kane Ash been by today? The danger may have been neutralized, but the web of secrets around Kane is far from untangled. One would-be assassin may be behind bars, but another threat could already be lurking in the wings. Kane's future is uncertain, his past is catching up, and Genoa City may never be the same again. Subscribe our channel for more latest updates. As the aftermath of Carter Vale's failed assassination ripples across Genoa City, Kane Ashby finds himself at a crossroads. The days following the press conference are a whirlwind of media attention, security briefings, and whispered meetings behind closed doors. While Vale remains in federal custody, Kane is all too aware that criminals like him rarely act alone, and even more unsettling, someone in Genoa City likely knew he was returning before he told anyone outside of Jill. That means only one thing: there's a mole. Kane grows increasingly paranoid. Every familiar face starts to look suspicious. He watches his back constantly and avoids public appearances, choosing instead to work remotely on Chancellor Winter's operations. Though the company publicly supports him, the board is divided. Some believe Kane brings too much danger and publicity to the already embattled enterprise. Others argue his insights and connection to Victor Newman make him indispensable. Lily tries to be a calming force, encouraging Kane to open up and let the walls come down. But even their newfound connection starts to fray as Kane retreats further into isolation. Their children, especially Maddie, worry about him. She comes home from college for a weekend, hoping to ground her father in some version of reality and remind him of what he has to live for. Maddie's presence is like a spark. Kane begins to re-engage, realizing that if he allows fear to consume him, the would-be assassins have already won. With Victor's continued support, Kane quietly expands his investigation, looking into financial anomalies and communications breaches within Chancellor Winters. What he discovers changes everything. Kane uncovers encrypted emails sent from within the company's server to a dummy corporation in Singapore, one connected to the very organization Carter Vale once worked for. The sender, someone with administrative access. At first, Kane suspects Billy or Nate both have had questionable behavior in the past, but a deeper forensic dive reveals the true culprit, Audra Charles. Audra, ever the strategist, had long been playing her own game. She'd been cultivating relationships with international contacts under the guise of business development and innovation partnerships, but secretly, she was selling company secrets and tracking Kane's movements abroad, part of a long-term revenge strategy. After her own rise to power was blocked by Jill and Devon, Kane takes his findings directly to Victor, bypassing the board. Victor, intrigued and impressed by Kane's resourcefulness, orchestrates a confrontation that leaves Audra cornered and outmaneuvered. She doesn't deny the charges. Instead, she offers a shocking deal. She hands over detailed information on other operatives embedded in U.S. companies. Names, contacts, even blackmail files in exchange for immunity and a ticket out of town. Victor considers the offer, but Kane wants blood. For him, justice means consequences, not bartering. In a tense boardroom showdown, Jill, Devon, Lily, and Victor argue over the deal. Ultimately, it's Devon who tips the scale. "We do this by the book. No deals. Let the law handle her." Audra is arrested on charges of corporate espionage and conspiracy. Her takedown is a victory for Chancellor Winters, but not without its costs. The board now demands a full internal restructuring. Jill asks Kane to stay on temporarily as acting co-CEO, an offer he declines. He's had enough of boardrooms, bullets, and betrayals. He wants peace. As Kane prepares to leave Genoa City again, Lily meets him at the Abbott cabin where it all began years ago. They talk honestly, openly about who they were, who they are now, and the space between love and survival. Lily admits she still cares, but she's not ready to rebuild what they had. Kane understands. He tells her he may return someday, but this time on his own terms. Victor hosts a quiet dinner at the ranch. Before Kane leaves, he presents Kane with a sealed envelope. Inside a list of names connected to the same syndicate Carter Vale worked for. "This is for your eyes only," Victor says. "If you ever want to hunt the rest of them down, start here." Kane doesn't open the envelope. He tucks it into his bag. "Thanks, Victor," and walks out into the crisp Genoa City night. For now, his war is over, but the future remains unwritten. Back at Crimson Lights, Sharon receives a package. Inside is a thank you note from Kane and a small journal of his experiences, a gift for her trauma support group. She smiles, knowing Kane may finally be free, not just from danger, but from the ghosts that haunted him. As the screen fades to black, one last scene plays out. At a train station outside town, a woman in a dark trench coat watches Kane board. She's on a burner phone. "He's on the move," she whispers. A pause. Yes, he still has the file. We move to phase 2. The threat to Kane isn't over. Not yet. Genoa City may think the danger is gone, but the war that started across the world is only just beginning. Kane created this hostage situation. Kane is solely responsible for creating this hostage situation that cost Chance's life and could have taken Lily Winter's Crystal Khalil life as well. Carter took his own life instead. Subscribe our channel for more latest updates. Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon cases, were locked up as Will and Nick almost died after fighting with the guard. Kane can certainly look for the Newmans to want revenge over what went down on the trip to Nice. After all, Nick was framed for murder, or he wouldn't have even been locked up at all if Kane had listened to him. Will Ken survive what is to come? Or will he be taken down by the revenge plot that has been leveled against him? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Kane created this hostage situation. Genoa City is no stranger to high-stakes drama. But nothing could prepare the town for the chaos unleashed when Kane Ashby unwittingly triggered a terrifying hostage situation. One that would send shockwaves through Chancellor Winters, devastate family relationships, and expose a deeply buried truth that could destroy everything he's fought to rebuild. Kane had come back to town to right the wrongs of his past. Instead, he may have brought danger right to the people he swore to protect. It began as an effort to resolve lingering questions around the encrypted files Kane had uncovered months prior, files tied to Carter Vale, the international mercenary who had once tried to kill him. Though Vale had been captured and turned over to federal authorities, Kane wasn't convinced that the threat was gone. The names, the dummy corporations, the transaction records, it all pointed to a larger web that stretched well beyond Chancellor Winters. And Kane had just discovered a missing piece. The file he'd kept secret, sealed inside a locked safe at Lily Winters' home, contained details of shell accounts linked to weapons trafficking through a humanitarian nonprofit operating out of Europe. And worse, there were internal memos implicating an unnamed board member at a major Genoa City institution. The contents were explosive and dangerous. Kane had debated going to Victor Newman with it. After all, Victor had helped him once before. But something about this felt different. He feared if this information got into the wrong hands, even Victor's, it could become weaponized. So, he made a risky choice. He contacted the Department of Justice directly. But that contact was intercepted. Unbeknownst to Kane, his call triggered surveillance systems tied to the same criminal network he was trying to expose, and they acted quickly. Within hours, a group of masked operatives stormed Chancellor Winters under the guise of a security inspection. What started as a routine walkthrough ended with 10 people locked inside the executive boardroom. Kane included. Devin, Lily, Jill, Billy, and Amanda Sinclair were among those trapped. The intruders moved fast and ruthlessly. They sealed the doors, cut communication lines, and issued a chilling demand. Hand over the files or watch people die. Word of the hostage crisis spread quickly. Abby Newman was first on the scene, having received a cryptic SOS text from Devin before signals went dark. Chancellor arrived soon after, flanked by local law enforcement. Sharon Rosales offered herself as a civilian negotiator while Victor Newman watched quietly from a distance, already activating his private security team to get involved behind the scenes. Inside the building, tensions escalated. The masked men made it clear this wasn't just about money. They were after the files Kane had sent to the feds. Files that had now been traced back to his encrypted email. To the captors, Kane was the reason they were there. And they weren't wrong. Amanda, always quick on her feet, whispered to Kane that the only way out might be for him to admit everything, to take the blame and offer himself up as leverage. But Kane refused. "This isn't just about me," he whispered. "They want to cover something bigger." Billy, frustrated and frantic, demanded answers. Jill, pale and furious, turned to Kane with fire in her eyes. "Did you do this? Did you bring this to my company's doorstep?" Kane, barely able to meet her gaze, said nothing. That silence was answer enough. Outside, the clock ticked. The captors began setting explosives near the building's ventilation system, sending a clear signal that time was running out. Chance tried negotiating, but got nowhere. The leader, a man known only as Sparrow, delivered a direct threat: "Bring us Kane's drive or we detonate." Victor, watching from his SUV nearby, had seen enough. He ordered his elite team to breach the side entrance. At the same time, Sharon convinced Chance to let her speak directly to one of the captors through a secure line. Her empathy, honed from years of counseling, cracked through one of the younger gunmen, who admitted they didn't want to hurt anyone. They were following orders from a source they didn't even know. That hesitation bought precious time. Inside, Kane finally made a bold move. He told the group he had a backup copy of the file on a portable drive hidden in a ventilation shaft, just outside the boardroom. The captors demanded he retrieve it, holding Lily at gunpoint as insurance. Kane slipped through the shaft, retrieved the dummy drive he'd prepared earlier, and returned, hoping it would buy time. But Sparrow saw through the ruse. He smashed the drive and turned on Kane. Just then, Victor's team launched their breach. Gunfire erupted. Smoke bombs were deployed. In the chaos, Jill hit the alarm switch hidden beneath the boardroom table, triggering the building's lockdown override. Devon tackled one of the captors. Amanda pulled Lily to safety. Kane lunged at Sparrow. The two men locked in brutal hand-to-hand combat until Sparrow pulled a knife. Before he could strike, Chance burst through the door and shot him in the shoulder, ending the standoff. All hostages were rescued. Several of the captors were arrested. Sparrow, wounded but alive, was taken into custody and Kane was left with the weight of his actions. In the days that followed, Chancellor Winters remained shuttered for investigation. The DOJ officially opened a probe into the trafficking ring Kane had tried to expose. He was hailed by some as a whistleblower, but condemned by others as reckless. Lily, torn between gratitude and fury, told Kane she needed space. "You did the right thing," she said, "but in the wrong way. You endangered everyone." Devon, emotionally drained, told Kane never to step foot in Chancellor Winters again. Amanda, ever the realist, warned Kane that his choices could come back to haunt him in court, regardless of intention. Jill, heartbroken, made it clear she would be stepping down from the company temporarily. "You brought war into my boardroom," she whispered, "and I don't know if I can forgive you." Alone, Kane wandered to the edge of Chancellor Park, watching the city breathe again. Sharon found him there. "You did what you thought was right," she said, gently, "but heroism doesn't always look like peace." As Kane prepared to leave town again, perhaps for good, he received an envelope from the DOJ. Inside were photos, additional names, operations, and one particular image that froze him in his tracks. It was a surveillance still from 6 months earlier of someone he trusted speaking to a known operative from the ring. The person in the photo, Colin Atkinson, his own father. Realization hit Kane like a freight train. This wasn't just about him. It was about blood, legacy, a past that refused to stay buried. And if Colin was involved, then the hostage situation was only a prelude to something far darker. Kane wasn't just running from the mess anymore. He was running toward a truth that could shatter everything. As he boarded a flight to Australia, Kane's mission changed. He wasn't just cleaning up a mistake. He was going to hunt down the man who made him. And this time, no one was safe. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. The video transcript provides an in-depth overview of a complex storyline centered around Kane Ashby, a key character from The Young and the Restless. Kane's return to Genoa City, intended as a fresh start and opportunity to reconnect with his family and help stabilize Chancellor Winters, quickly spirals into a dangerous saga of assassination attempts, corporate espionage, and personal betrayals. Kane is haunted by a shadowy past linked to criminal activities in Australia, including a black market money laundering scheme and the murder of a friend, Samir Curry. His return triggers threats from an assassin named Carter Vale, a former mercenary, tied to international crime syndicates, who nearly kills Kane during a press conference. Despite efforts to protect Kane, including intervention from trusted allies like Chancellor Lily Winters and Victor Newman, the danger escalates, exposing vulnerabilities within Chancellor Winters and the wider Genoa City community. Suspicion grows that someone inside the company leaked Kane's return, leading to a mole hunt and internal power struggles. Kane uncovers a web of corporate espionage involving encrypted emails and a board member selling secrets to international criminals, eventually identifying Audra Charles as the traitor. Audra's arrest triggers demands for company restructuring and further destabilizes Kane's position. The story culminates in a harrowing hostage situation at Chancellor Winters, orchestrated by masked operatives demanding files tied to weapons, trafficking, and implicating a board member. Kane's actions, while motivated by justice, place his colleagues and loved ones in peril, fracturing relationships and forcing Kane to confront the consequences of his past decisions. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Ultimately, Kane's discoveries reveal his own father, Colin Atkinson, as a key figure in the criminal network, shifting Kane's mission from defense to aggressive pursuit of the truth. The storyline closes with Kane preparing to return to Australia, signaling that the danger is far from over and that Kane's battle against his legacy will intensify, jeopardizing everyone connected to him. Highlights: Kane Ashby's return to Genoa City brings danger, not peace. as an assassin follows him from Australia. Suspicion arises of a mole within Chancellor Winter's leaking Kane's movements to criminals. A dramatic assassination attempt during a press conference nearly kills Kane and injures a security officer. Audra Charles is exposed as a corporate spy selling secrets to an international crime syndicate. A tense hostage crisis at Chancellor Winter's exposes deep corruption and endangers key characters. Kane's choices alienate allies, including Lily and Devon, threatening both his personal and professional life. The revelation that Kane's father, Colin Atkinson, is involved in the criminal conspiracy adds a personal and dangerous twist. Key insights: the complexity of Kane's character arc highlights the blurred lines between heroism and recklessness. Kane's return is motivated by a desire to fix past mistakes and protect his family, but his actions inadvertently draw lethal threats and chaos to those around him. This duality reflects a nuanced portrayal of a flawed protagonist caught between redemption and self-destruction. Asterisk, the story underscores how past secrets and unresolved legacies can disrupt present stability. Asterisks: Kane's history in Australia, including entanglement in criminal schemes and the death of a close friend, acts as a ticking time bomb that follows him to Genoa City. This motif of inescapable pasts driving current conflict is a classic soap opera element, grounding suspense in character-driven drama. The mole subplot introduces themes of trust and betrayal within corporate and familial structures. The internal leak of Kane's whereabouts and the espionage activities by Audra Charles reveal how vulnerabilities inside powerful institutions can be exploited, mirroring real-world concerns about corporate security and loyalty. The suspicion and paranoia that follow degrade relationships and sow discord among allies. Asterisk, the assassination attempt and subsequent hostage crisis amplify the stakes, blending personal peril with broader political intrigue. Asterisk, the use of a sniper, explosives, and masked operatives elevates the narrative beyond personal vendettas to a high-stakes thriller involving international criminal networks. This escalation maintains tension and reinforces the idea that Kane's enemies are well-organized and dangerous. Victor Newman's involvement adds a layer of strategic power play and moral ambiguity. While Victor offers protection and assistance, his motives are tinged with self-interest, using Kane's situation as leverage for his schemes. This dynamic illustrates the complex alliances in Genoa City's power structure and the transactional nature of such relationships. Asterisk, Kane's strained relationships with Lily, Devon, and others highlight the personal cost of his dangerous lifestyle. Asterisk, despite shared history and lingering feelings, Kane's secrecy and the threats he brings create fractures that may be difficult to heal. This tension adds emotional depth and realism to the storyline, showing how external threats impact intimate connections. Asterisk, the revelation of Colin Atkinson's involvement personalizes the conflict, intertwining family loyalty with criminal conspiracy. Asterisk, discovering that Kane's own father is implicated raises questions about legacy, identity, and the cycles of violence and betrayal within families. This development sets the stage for future confrontations that will challenge Kane's sense of self and redefine his mission. Conclusion: this narrative arc for Kane Ashby in The Young and the Restless is a multifaceted exploration of danger, loyalty, a city is anything but peaceful, as he faces assassination attempts, corporate espionage, and betrayal from within his trusted circle. The stakes escalate from personal survival to exposing international crime rings, all while managing fractured family dynamics and shifting alliances. Kane's journey is marked by difficult choices and moral ambiguity, underscoring the soap opera's trademark blend of suspense, drama, and character complexity. The unresolved threats and the involvement of Kane's father as a conspirator promise ongoing tension and dramatic developments, leaving viewers eager to see how Kane will navigate the turbulent path ahead. Subscribe our channel for more latest update.